Hi everyone, and welcome to the sixth and final video of my TRND Bot review series. I'm so excited to finally be compiling and analyzing the combined months data and presenting my final thoughts and recommendations. So far, TRND Bot has exceeded my initial expectations on its signal effectiveness, and we know how well it performed each week. But now I'm going to show what the final overall statistics look like over the whole month. In this video, I'm going to cover the combined data and results from all of October, clarify some aspects of my strategy, recommend strategy improvements you can incorporate, reflect on my data and draw conclusions about TRND Bot, highlight what I like and dislike about TRND Bot, answer questions I've been asked, and suggest improvements I think TRND should implement into their bot. Before I move on, I just want to thank you for making it this far, whether you've been following from the beginning or you're brand new to the channel. As you can probably tell, this is my first attempt at making videos for YouTube, and the constant feedback and support I've received has meant so much to me. Moving forward, I'm going to continue testing and reviewing bots and strategies to use with them, and also periodically upload other content about stock market and day trading related topics. With that said, as I've explained before, I am now a TRND affiliate. I accepted TRND's offer to be an affiliate only after getting consistently good results in my study. My review and opinions are still entirely my own and based off of the data I collect. If you subscribe to TRND using my affiliate link in the description, I will receive a small commission at no additional cost to you. Like always, this video is for educational purposes only. This video is going to have more macro analysis of TRND's performance than past videos, so I'll be drawing some general data-driven conclusions and answering bigger picture questions like, is TRND Bot a scam? Is it reliable and profitable? Is it worth the cost? And are there strategies we can use to increase its win rate? First, I'll go over the final data for the SPY and Tesla, and then we'll compare to see how TRND's performance varies across two very different stocks. After we look at each stock's data individually, I'm going to combine the data from the SPY and Tesla for a more holistic view of TRND Bot's performance. If at any point you need clarification on the trading strategy I used for this study or the scope of this study, my introduction video where I cover that information is linked in the description below. Before I get into the detailed data results, I'd like to answer the most important question I had when going into this study. Is TRND Bot a scam? With a final win rate of 52% on the SPY and 55% on Tesla, I can say with confidence that TRND Bot is not a scam. It does not appear to be easily recreatable with other basic studies, and it clearly produces consistent, profitable signals with a better than 50% win rate, at least in the situations tested in my study. Over the rest of the video, I'll try to answer more questions about TRND Bot. Let's get into the final bits of the data now. Here's what the SPY looked like over the course of October on a 30-minute time frame. I'm not going to go into much detail here, but I will say that I'm very satisfied with how October went, and I think it was a great test for TRND Bot. We had rallies and sell-offs, flat sideways movement, chop, and a significant historical event, the lead up to the presidential election. All in all, I think the market we experienced over this time should give us a realistic, albeit rushed, perspective of how TRND Bot might perform over longer periods of time. The only problem here is that not all months will have this much going on, so it's hard to say whether my data will be representative of the months you use TRND Bot for. Over the month of October, TRND Bot signaled a total of 131 trades on the SPY. As I touched on earlier, TRND Bot signals on the SPY had a 52% win rate. As a refresher, I considered a winning trade to be any trade that resulted in profit, not necessarily a trade that hit the profit target. Though I was hoping for a higher or more definitively good win rate, as opposed to one so close to 50%, 52% is actually still pretty good. The reason being is that this win rate is from blind trading, as in I had no input whatsoever over when to close my trades, or even if I should enter the trade in the first place. As you use TRND Bot, as you record your trades, and as you learn from outside sources and apply that information to your trading, you'll be able to make decisions that likely improve on this win rate. Knowing the signals themselves, at worst, yield an approximately 52% win rate, should give you the confidence to trade with them and then supplement that information with further entry and exit criteria you develop. Here are the outcomes of the SPY signals. 58 signals, or 44%, resulted in profit target 1 or better. 67 signals, or 51%, resulted in a signal change for either profit or loss. 5 signals, or 4%, resulted in closing the position at the end of the day for either profit or loss, and only 1 signal, or 1%, hit its stop loss. I also finally had enough data to determine how frequently price hits profit target 2 or better. I found that 38% of trades that hit profit target 1 also went on to hit at least profit target 2. While this isn't enough to warrant only taking profit at profit target 2, it is frequent enough to imply that we should be saving at least some of our position to close at profit target 2 or better. You may also be able to increase the chances of your trade hitting profit target 2 or higher by using more selective conditions when deciding whether to enter a trade in the first place. Sometimes after giving a buy or sell signal, TRNDBot would also give a firm signal, which supposedly means that the trade has a higher probability of continuing in the signal direction. I recorded all of these firm signals, but didn't have enough data points each week to analyze the effectiveness of these signals until I looked at the data for the whole month. Of the 131 signals from TRNDBot on the SPY, 29 signals were deemed firm. I wanted to determine whether firm signals actually had a higher likelihood of reaching profit target 1 or profit target 2 than average signals, and whether firm signals were more profitable than average signals. I found that firm signals ended up hitting profit target 1 52% of the time and profit target 2 17% of the time. Compared to the average signal hitting profit target 1 only 44% of the time and hitting profit target 2 17% of the time, we see that firm signals do seem to correctly indicate a continuation to profit target 1, but there's no effect on hitting profit target 2. Additionally, firm signals resulted in profit in general 62% of the time compared to the average signal's general win rate of 52%. Though firm signals were more likely to result in profit, they occurred very infrequently. Of course, this could be due to the sensitivity and settings I was using. Since only 22% of all signals were deemed firm, I think only trading firm signals would give you very few opportunities to trade, so it depends on your personal trading style whether you want your strategy to focus on firm signals or not. For all of October, the average loss per trade was $129, the average profit per trade of the profit target 1 strategy was $223, and the average profit per trade of the 50-50 strategy was $263. Like most individual weeks, the average loss was only about half of the expected loss of $250 at the stop loss, which is a really good sign regarding the safety of TRNDBot signals. The final actualized reward to risk ratios for the SPY are 1.74 to 1 for the profit target 1 strategy and 2.04 to 1 for the 50-50 strategy. I've said it a bunch of times, but now we'll say it conclusively. A reward to risk ratio of over 1.5 to 1, or even better, 2 to 1, while maintaining a 50% win rate is really good and means that as long as this ratio is maintained, you'll always be profitable in the long run. Using some of the strategies I highlight later in this video, I think you could possibly achieve an even better reward to risk ratio while using TRNDBot. My assumption when testing TRNDBot signals was that there would be some performance differences over the course of the day as market conditions varied. Each week didn't have enough data points to really see how the time of day affected trends performance. But when looking at the entire month's data, we do see a clear difference in TRNDBot's win rate over the course of the day. Most notably, there's a whopping 20% disparity between the best hour of the day, 10:30 to 11:30, and the worst hour of the day, 1:30 to 2:30. What's also very interesting is how many hours per day had an approximately 60% win rate. 9:30 to 10:30, 10:30 to 11:30, and 2:30 to 3:30 were consistently great times for TRNDBot, and trading only during these times may be a strategy to increase the overall win rate when using TRNDBot. I suspect the reason the win rate was so high during the first 2 hours of the day and the last hour of the day is because that's when price has the most consistent momentum, which TRNDBot clearly likes. Interestingly, there were only 2 hours where disproportionately more signals occurred, 9:30 to 10:30 and 1:30 to 2:30. The first of the two had a higher than average win rate of 55%, and the second had a much lower than average win rate of 40%. Now for the total profit for the month of October trading the SPY. By sizing my position such that I was risking $250 at the stop loss, the profit target 1 strategy profited a total of $7,082, and the 50-50 strategy profited a total of $9,771. That's $322 and $440 per day on average. Here's a graph of the SPY's running P&L over October. The graph starts with a monthly profit of 0 and begins on October 1st, the first day of the study. You can see how the P&L changed over the course of the month. The largest drawdown for the profit target 1 strategy was from the 7th to the 12th, where the strategy lost $1,070 over 4 trading days. The largest drawdown for the 50-50 strategy was from the 7th to the 8th, where only $850 was lost over 2 trading days. You would have still been profitable during these drawdowns, but $1,000 can be a lot to lose over just a few trading days when you're risking $250 per trade. Though the maximum experience drawdown using the 50-50 strategy was much lower and over fewer days. Here's what Tesla looked like over the course of October on the 30-minute time frame. I think Tesla's behavior over the month was also a great test for TRND Bot. We had rallies and sell-offs, nice sustained trends, some fast steep moves to the downside and upside, and a surprising amount of range trading, which is something TRND Bot seems to struggle with. Over October, TRND Bot signaled a total of 119 trades on Tesla. And to reiterate, TRND Bot signals on Tesla had a 55% win rate. Assuming a good reward to risk ratio, 55% is definitively a good win rate. Here are the outcomes of the Tesla signals. 48 signals, or 40%, resulted in profit target 1 or better. 63 signals, or 53%, resulted in a signal change for either profit or loss. 8 signals, or 7%, resulted in closing the position at the end of the day for either profit or loss, and 0 signals resulted in a stop loss. Like with the SPY, I finally had enough data to determine how frequently price hits profit target 2. I found that 42% of trades that hit profit target 1 went on to hit at least profit target 2. Again, it's clear that we should be saving at least some of our position to be closed at profit target 2 or better. Of the 119 signals from TRND Bot on Tesla, 27 signals were deemed firm. I analyzed this data in the same way I did with the SPY. Firm signals ended up hitting profit target 1 41% of the time and went on to hit profit target 2 15% of the time. Compared to the average signal hitting profit target 1 40% of the time and going on to hit profit target 2 17% of the time, we see that the firm signals did not seem to affect hitting profit target 1 or 2. Additionally, firm signals resulted in profit in general 59% of the time compared to the average signal's general win rate of 55%. For both stocks, firm signals were more likely to result in profit, just more so for the SPY. For all of October, the average loss per trade on Tesla was $124. The average profit per trade of the profit target 1 strategy was $207, and the average profit per trade of the 50-50 strategy was $244. Like most individual weeks, the average loss was about half of the expected loss of $250 at the stop loss. I didn't anticipate the SPY and Tesla having almost the exact same average loss because Tesla is so much more volatile, but this is an even better sign regarding the safety of TRND Bot signals on stocks prone to larger, faster moves like Tesla. I'm very curious if there's a similar safety in trading other, even more volatile stocks like penny stocks or hype stocks. The final actualized reward to risk ratios for Tesla were 1.67 to 1 for the profit target 1 strategy and 1.97 to 1 for the 50-50 strategy. Because the average losses and wins were similar, the reward to risk ratios are also similar to the SPYs. However, given the 55% win rate on Tesla, these reward to risk ratios are really good. Like with the SPY's data, we also see a clear difference in TRND Bot's performance on Tesla over the course of the day. Most notably, there's a whopping 35% disparity between the best hour of the day, 2:30 to 3:30, and the worst hour of the day, 1:30 to 2:30. Again, many hours per day had an approximately 55% win rate. Every hour except 1:30 to 2:30 were consistently great times for TRND Bot, and avoiding signals at times TRND Bot historically performs worse may increase your win rate and profit in the long run. Identically like with the SPY, there were only 2 hours where disproportionately more signals occurred, 9:30 to 10:30 and 1:30 to 2:30. The first of the two had an average win rate of 55%, and the second had a much lower than average win rate of 42%. Now for the total profit for the month of October trading Tesla. By sizing my position such that I was risking $250 at the stop loss, the profit target 1 strategy profited $6,788, and the 50-50 strategy profited a total of $9,154. That's $309 and $416 per day on average. Here's a graph of Tesla's running P&L over the month of October. The graph starts with a monthly profit of 0 and begins on October 1st, the first day of this study. You can then see how the P&L changed over the course of the month. The largest drawdown for the profit target 1 strategy was from the 28th to the 29th, where the strategy lost $995 over 2 trading days. The largest drawdown for the 50-50 strategy was also from the 28th to the 29th, but the strategy only lost $870 over 2 trading days. You would have still been profitable during these drawdowns, but losing about $1,000 is a lot over just a couple days when you're risking $250 per trade. Again, the maximum experienced drawdown using the 50-50 strategy was lower. When reviewing my final combined data, I noticed a shocking similarity between a lot of the SPYs and Tesla's data. In particular, their win rates, signal outcomes, win rate by time of day, average wins and losses, and actualized reward to risk ratios. Due to these similarities, I just had to combine the data to give the most accurate idea of TRND Bot's effectiveness overall. I promise to be brief. The following statistics are probably a pretty good approximation for any large cap blue chip stock with reasonable volatility. The combined 250 signals on the SPY and Tesla had an overall win rate of 53.2%, signal outcomes of 52% resulting in a signal change, 5.2% resulting in a close at the end of the day, 0.4% resulting in a stop loss, and 42.4% hitting profit target 1 or better. 39.6% of the signals that hit profit target 1 went on to hit profit target 2 as well. Average profits and losses of $127 average loss, $216 average profit target 1 strategy profit, and $254 average 50-50 strategy profit. Reward to risk ratios of 1.7 to 1 for the profit target 1 strategy and 2 to 1 for the 50-50 strategy. Here are the combined win rates by hour of the day. Now I want to address some of the effects my specific testing strategy had on the TRND Bot data I collected and how my results could differ slightly from other people's. First, I need to clarify that my data absolutely isn't perfectly realistic. While I did do my absolute best to produce results that help you decide whether TRND Bot is worth the investment, factors like reaction time, precision when entering and exiting trades, share price slippage, emotions, and other elements couldn't accurately be taken into account. Because of that, a forward test of any strategy or signals is likely to have slightly better results than most people could achieve in real time. Also, my entries were based on the closing price of the signal 5-minute candle. If you're buying at the bid and shorting at the ask, you may get even better prices than I did, but if you're entering with market orders, you'll experience slippage. In almost all cases, this difference should be insignificant and not affect your long-term performance, but it is something to consider, especially if you're entering with thousands of shares or if price is moving quickly. Another issue that could affect real-life results is calculating the number of shares for each trade. Because of the way TRND Bot signals, each properly sized trade will require a different number of shares depending on how far the stop loss is from the entry price. So you immediately have to calculate the correct number of shares to equalize your risk for all your trades. This may take some people longer than others and could result in slightly worse entries or incorrect position sizing. Besides any possible human errors that could interfere with the results, my test of TRND Bot only reflects the results when using my specific TRND Bot settings. To reiterate, I used a 1.4 sensitivity, 5-minute time frame, Heikin-Ashi candles, and extended hours. I closed my positions at profit target 2 at most, and I used shares, not options. Every once in a while, a 5-minute candle would be unusually long compared to other recent 5-minute candles. This was generally at market open or if there was some sudden unexpected news. In these cases, TRND Bot would sometimes signal immediately after these long 5-minute candles closed with unachievable profit targets and ridiculous stop losses. Here's a quick example. This doesn't necessarily mean trades like these resulted in loss, but price frequently didn't make it to profit target 1 in these instances. I still took every trade TRND Bot signaled for the purposes of this test. However, if you use TRND Bot, you may want to sit out some signals if something crazy happens. I've received a lot of questions regarding how much capital I started with and how much was needed for each trade. Let me address those questions now. Given that $25,000 is needed in a margin account to get past the PDT rule, I assumed an approximate $25,000 account with the same amount of margin. That way, I was only risking 1% of my capital per trade, thus the $250 stop loss. The capital required to enter a trade varied wildly with TRND because each trade had a different stop loss. Nearly every trade I took when sized to lose $250 at the stop loss was affordable with $50,000 or less. However, when given the choice between needing to spend more than $50,000 to enter a trade or not entering it, I always took the trade in the interest of getting complete data. The profit achieved at the end of my study was in no way meant to mislead you or trick you into trying TRND Bot for yourself. I meant it to be a helpful benchmark to compare each week's performance and to see a tangible, possible result of TRND Bot signals. If you're interested in the results of alternative profit outcomes, where I risked, for example, only $25 per trade, you could simply divide the final profit by 10 and you'll get the adjusted result. Some people have pointed out how incredibly expensive it is to day trade the SPY. For example, a $2 stop loss below the entry price would cost approximately $46,875 to enter the trade. Obviously, an insane amount of money to commit to a trade that only has an average profit of $244. For this reason, I'm in no way suggesting you trade the SPY or even Tesla if you use TRND Bot. I chose the SPY for this test because it's a slow-moving stock that often trades within a range, and I thought TRND Bot would have a hard time trading it. I chose Tesla because it moves very differently from the SPY and because TRND uses Tesla in a lot of their ads. I don't think these are in any way the best names you could trade with TRNDBot, especially since Tesla is hard to borrow, and certainly not with a small account. As I'm sure you're very aware by now, I use two profit-taking strategies with TRNDBot, the Profit Target 1 strategy and the 50-50 strategy. Using two different profit-taking strategies gave me some important insights into trading with TRNDBot. The 50-50 strategy increased profits by 38% for the SPY and 35% for Tesla, compared to the Profit Target 1 strategy, and had less maximum drawdown than the Profit Target 1 strategy. Of course, this makes sense because with the 50-50 strategy, we're increasing our possible profit while risking the same amount. In real-life trading, however, the 50-50 strategy becomes a bit riskier than the Profit Target 1 strategy because there's always the chance that the stock could immediately reverse after hitting Profit Target 1 while you still have 50% of your shares open. Regardless, it's clear that scaling out of your positions helps maximize profit and that aiming for Profit Target 2 with TRNDBot is not unreasonable, especially because price often hit Profit Target 2 or better. Though the base win rate and reward to risk ratios have all been good enough to trade with, why stop there? I've compiled a list of strategies I think you should consider implementing into your TRNDBot trading strategy. Make sure to backtest before you take my advice blindly though, and don't use anything that's contrary to your comfort or trading style. First of all, the strategy I'm most confident about, and that's also easiest to implement, is the 200 period moving average filter. The idea is that this helps you filter out signals that go against the larger trend. You can simply add the 200 period simple or exponential moving average to your 5-minute chart. You only enter short when price is below the 200 moving average, and you only enter long when price is above the 200 moving average. This will decrease the number of trades you take overall, but should increase your win rate substantially. Second of all, you may want to tweak the stop losses TRNDBot suggests. If I had to guess, I'd say about half of the time, the stop losses TRNDBot suggests are in really good, really logical, albeit conservative, places. Unfortunately, this means that the whole other half of the time, they're, in my opinion, way too wide, which in turn leads to improbable and hard to achieve profit targets. After you've gotten used to TRNDBot for a while and you've done your research on stop loss strategies, keep your eye out for stop losses that TRNDBot recommends because you may be able to make them tighter. This will allow you to enter with more shares and hit profit targets more easily. This suggestion is supported by the fact that only 1 out of 250 signals ever stopped out. Third of all, use a trailing stop and let your winners run. I can't emphasize this enough, you should absolutely be using a trailing stop when using TRNDBot. Because price often moves past Profit Target 2, my strategy missed out on a lot of potential profit by closing my full position at Profit Target 2 no matter what. Here's an example of where a trailing stop would have increased profit substantially. You can see that price went well beyond Profit Target 2, many times over even. A trailing stop would have allowed me to capture more of this move and reduce my risk while doing so. You could try the ATR trailing stop strategy, parabolic SAR stop trailing strategy, or just look at price action and manually move your stop loss as price moves in your favor. Next, don't necessarily use the sensitivity I used. I chose a 1.4 sensitivity because it made TRNDBot signal later with more confidence. After you've tried out Trend for a while and are comfortable with how it works on the stocks you trade, definitely play around with the sensitivity and find out what works best for you. Remember, Trend has certain sensitivity recommendations for certain time frames. Lastly, use a percent of your total capital as your stop loss risk. A powerful and profitable strategy I intentionally didn't use is, rather than use a fixed risk per trade like $250, use a percent of your total capital instead. Experts recommend 0.5% to 2%, but really it should be whatever you're most comfortable with. The enormous benefit is that as you make more money, your risk and reward goes up, so you make more money in turn, assuming you have a good win rate and reward to risk ratio anyway. I also have some strategy improvements based on suggestions Trend has on their website and YouTube that they didn't have when I began my study, and other suggestions I've seen recommended from people in the Trend Discord. Trend recommends using the 15-minute trend based on the TRNDBot signal to buy or sell to inform and confirm signals on the 5-minute chart. They also recommend using the volatility cloud as further confirmation. The wider the cloud, the more momentum, the larger the expected move. If your candle is through or resting on the cloud, you can wait until the candle moves further away. And they recommend that if you want to closely manage your trades, once you enter off of a 5-minute entry signal, you can watch the TRNDBot on the 1-minute chart for a close signal. I had multiple TRNDBot users recommend I supplement TRNDBot signals with the TTM squeeze and the super trend indicator, and I talked to one user who had success trading volatile penny stocks using only the 1-minute time frame with 1.2 sensitivity. Now I'm going to give you my final thoughts and conclusions on TRNDBot and on this study. and then I'll finish up this video by answering some questions that a lot of you have been asking about TRND Bot. I set out on this study to determine if TRND Bot was a scam or if it was effective. I've demonstrated within a reasonable doubt that there is at least one strategy that yields statistically profitable results, and amazing results at that. Based on my study, I think that if used correctly with a proper and strict strategy, TRND Bot could reasonably help you improve your trading, consistency, and profit. Now, just because the bot gives you buy and sell signals does not mean this is free money. You need enough capital to survive the learning curve, potential drawdowns, and so that the $48 a month isn't a large loss. You need a well thought out, tested, and strict strategy that you know is statistically backed and that you can stick with. Throughout these past videos, you've already heard what I like about TRND Bot and that I'm very impressed with how well it's performed. But here are just a few things that stand out to me as noteworthy. TRND Bot is really user-friendly and it's really easy to follow the signals. The bot isn't just signals, it includes other studies that you can supplement your signals with, such as an EMA cloud, volatility cloud, support and resistance, and trend lines. TRND Bot is very conservative with its stop losses. This is great for new traders who through inexperience or greed may place their stops too tight. The stops are definitely placed far enough away that you're sufficiently protected against stop hunting and fakeouts. You can essentially adjust how risky you want the signals to be by adjusting the sensitivity. I also like how it's available through TradingView instead of as a standalone program because TradingView is a great user-friendly platform. In contrast, here are some things I disliked about TRND Bot and the trend experience that I think Trend should improve. Trend makes their oscillator, which costs $19 a month extra, seem really important for filtering out the bot's false signals and closing positions effectively. It seems to me that if the oscillator were really as essential as they claim, it should be included in the bot subscription. That being said, I haven't tried the oscillator and I had great success without it. As I touched on earlier, I think trading with TRND Bot really lends itself to using trailing stop losses. I think this would have been relatively easy for Trend to include and could have improved user profit significantly. When I first started testing TRND Bot, there was almost no educational material or suggestions for how to use the signal successfully. Since then, to their credit, they have added quite a bit of educational content. But to me, this content isn't at a high enough level to be helpful in developing a successful strategy, so I hope they continue adding to and improving their material. I was also surprised that there was no opportunity to get a free trial, even just for a day. I think a lot of potential users are hesitant to subscribe to Trend because they don't know how the bot will be in real life. Trend claims their bot works, and I've tested their bot and it works, so why not hook people with a free trial? Other algos do this, and I think it would definitely help them attract people and decrease potential user skepticism. TRND Bot signals are either buy or sell, but there obviously isn't always an opportunity to profit because the market is often flat. Not differentiating between open signals and closed signals is confusing to new traders and teaches them bad habits like feeling like they need to constantly be in a trade. My 200 period EMA filter suggestion and Trend's 15-minute trend filter suggestion could partially fix this issue, but I wish Trend would tell you more clearly to close when momentum is decreasing and then only open when momentum starts increasing again. The usefulness of the Discord will depend heavily on how experienced of a trader you are and how comfortable you are doing your own studies, recording your own trades, and improving your strategy on your own. For me personally, I got almost nothing out of the Discord because to me, it felt like most people were asking simple questions, like how options work and how the bot works. For a beginner, these questions and the answers others gave may have been helpful though. I got the feeling that many people in the Discord had only been trading for a month or two, so the recommendations regarding time frame, sensitivity, strategy, etc. seemed a little unfounded or just lucky. But there are a couple moderators and a couple good traders who post their trades and potential upcoming trades. I love the questions and enthusiasm from all of you, and I hope you keep it up as I review more algos in the future. Now I'm going to go over some of the most frequently asked questions. First question, how does Trend work on crypto, Forex, and options? I obviously didn't try Trend with anything other than shares, but there's no reason Trend wouldn't work very similarly with crypto or Forex. But you would have to test the specific settings and strategies yourself to make sure first. As far as trading options is concerned, the results would highly depend on the specifications of the option being traded and how quickly the underlying stock hit the profit targets. Most of the people in the Trend Discord trade options though, so it definitely can be done. I'm just not personally sure what strategy would work best. I imagine you may want to disregard the profit targets in favor of using percentage gain as the target and perhaps using percentage loss as the stop loss. My ideal options trading strategy using TRND Bot would likely involve using vertical spreads instead of naked calls or puts. Since some signals took a long time to hit their profit targets, a low vega strategy like spreads would help you avoid IV crush. Again, this is only conjecture, but I can definitely see possible scenarios where someone could successfully trade options with TRNDBot. Question 2. What should I be wary of if I sign up? Honestly, Trend seems like a very straightforward company, and their moderators are very easy to get in contact with if you have a problem. The only thing to look out for is your subscription will auto-renew, so make sure you cancel in time if you don't want to keep using it. Question 3. Is TRNDBot still worth it if I'm not over the PDT limit? It's hard to say because everyone's situation is different, but you're welcome to message me or comment if you'd like my opinion on your specific situation. That being said, if you have a cash account and you don't have margin, the PDT rule does not apply to you and you can trade trend signals as many times as you want per week. When it comes to the cost, however, if you're hypothetically risking $25 a trade, then TRNDBot's monthly cost is like starting with 2 losses, which may be difficult psychologically. On the plus side, there are strategies that don't require a lot of capital that you can use, such as trading cheap stocks, trading options, or using spreads. In the interest of keeping this video short, I've answered some additional questions in the description. I'll continue to add answers if there are people with further questions about TRNDBot in the future. This concludes the final video of my TRNDBot study and review. I've had an amazing time testing TRNDBot, and as I've said before, I was completely blown away by my results. Starting this review series on a bot with no reviews, I really had no idea what to expect, but overall I'm very impressed with Trend's performance and I can't wait to see how they continue to improve their product in the future. If you want to try out Trend for yourself, again, please use my referral link in the description so I can receive a small commission when you sign up. Any money I make from Trend subscriptions will go directly towards paying for the next algorithm I review. If you've enjoyed this series, please like and subscribe so you can keep up with what I test next. Thanks for watching.